Behind me here is our old workshop. This is an enclosed trailer that we fully converted into a workshop and have been using for the last couple years until this happened. I had an accident where I accidentally dropped a tree on the trailer, on the workshop, and it ruined it. So we've been working over the last several weeks to clear it out so that we could look at it, evaluate the damage, and decide what to do with it. So if we take a look inside, you can see that there's definitely some major structural damage. We stripped out everything that was not part of the trailer and a couple of pieces of the wall paneling. We used a piece of it for another project back there, and these were just so broken that I pulled them off. Now, some of this is stuff I added, like the radiant barrier on the ceiling. That wasn't original to the trailer. Everything else is original. All we did was paint it and add some trim work. This trim we added. So we're getting ready to take all that off. We're going to pull our radiant barrier down, which worked really well at keeping the heat out. That was a good option. Good choice. But now we have to see what's going on with the frame. A lot of people have been telling us that this is an easy fix, that we can fix it and just do it. Honestly, I don't see it still. I've listened to the comments and I don't see it. It just looks beyond anything I could fix. When metal is crushed, when you have a box frame, like tube framing, and it's crushed, you can't uncrush it. You could try to straighten the metal, but the framing is still crushed. You get what I mean? I'm gonna still look at it and decide what to do. So let's just take you guys along while we strip down the rest of this. We're gonna pull all the plywood off the walls and all the ceiling down so that we can see everything. And just looking at it right here, obviously we have the main damage where the tree came down, destroyed the roof, crumpled the wall, but the whole trailer is skewed this way. This wall is bowing out a lot. Like, it probably should be over here. So we got a huge bow. The wheel well is completely bent. There's things that you probably can't see on camera that I can see in person, where everything is just skewed like crazy. So it's not going to be as simple as just, oh, push the ceiling up. It's pretty bad. Now, we've already taken out a lot of these screws. Evie went around and took out pretty much anything she could reach, except that one. And
a few here and there.
Just to speed it up, so you guys don't have to wait as long. So while we are working on this, we still don't know what we're doing with it. We don't have a plan. There might be vague ideas floating around. We've gotten a lot of suggestions, but I know we're not turning it into a flatbed trailer. Some people have suggested that. This thing is like 24 feet long, and it's just not anything I would ever want to tow around. And I don't know. Just don't want to do it. While I know that's not the plan, I don't know what the plan is. It might just be throwing it out, selling it as a used broken trailer. Possibly rebuilding it into something new. The reason that this is actually hard to get rid of is because we have so much money invested into it. We spent 10 grand to buy this trailer. And our intention was to use it as a workshop until we could build a garage someday. You know, we're 3 years into living here, and we've been working on our house. Other projects pop up. It's hard to save money. And so we were just waiting for the right time. And this was a quick solution, and it was a mobile solution. We needed to be able to move it around our property. So not only that, but we repaired it. I mean, we put all this trim work in. And honestly, it's just hard to let go of it, and I feel like it needs to be used for something. Something. And we weren't able to buy this because we're rich. We bought it because we sold our home and it took money out of our home sale. And the idea was that we could get that money back. You know, that's life. But if you think about it that way, it was our work to repair our other home that got ruined here. You know what I mean? We exchanged our labor and our time and our heart and our skills to fix that home to buy this, and then it's ruined. So not a good feeling. So we're gonna finish up getting all this cleared out, and then we'll start taking off the wall panels. While some of the plywood is fine, we are gonna strip down the whole building because we really wanna see everything bare down to the bones so that we can decide the best thing to do with this trailer. Just finished up removing all the trim. We're ready to start popping off these panels. So they're only held on with a couple screws. We went through and took out like pretty much most of the screws. So they're only held on with 2 or 3 here and there. This is starting to get cool. We can see the structure. We can see the siding, the outside of the trailer. It's kind of looking futuristic in here. So, it's neat. We have a couple more panels on this wall to do. Okay, so there it is. Trailer wall stripped down. Now let's get right into the ceiling and just start popping off all this. Luckily I screwed this in with about a million screws, so should be easy to take off. Am I just ripping this off, or am I unscrewing all the screws? Were you salvaging it? I'm just doing this, I don't have to, it would be easier for me to pull. I don't want to waste it, but it kind of is. I mean, a lot of it's already damaged, and it is what it is. Take a look at this ceiling. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and get these furring strips off. I put those on for the radiant barrier, so if we take these down. Good. This feels better. We have everything stripped out, and now let's look at the damage and see what we have to work with. And honestly, I'm still not seeing how I could fix that. This metal is just, it's not just a bend, it is a complete warped mess. And for example, this bar right here, which was a 1x2 steel tubing, is flattened. It's like, it just looks like flat, and that's the main corner of the building. Like, to push that back up, this is going to take an extreme amount of force to push this back up. Welds are breaking already. Broken. We got broken welds everywhere. So realistically, your structure is compromised, and that's a swoop, a huge one. A lot of people said just jack up the ceiling. The ceiling is toast. I mean, this thing is crumpled. I don't think you could unbend that much better. The seams are all shot, but also just this. If you could jack that up, you're going to be fighting all of these bent uprights that are crimped and crunched down, and This one's breaking. These are all fatigued. If you straighten those out, they would probably break, honestly. You'd have to replace these. If you were good at welding, you could cut out this whole section and weld in a whole new wall structure and the ceiling too. Maybe you could fix it. You can see down there, down by the garage door end, it's actually pretty square still. That's good. And down here is pretty square. Everything looks good. So it is just the middle section. And you can see on this wall, even though the damage was over here, it's pushing on this wall. And we got a big swoop in here. Looks like this weld is breaking. These are all pushed in. So like the steel tubing is actually crimped. Because imagine the tube is coming into it and it's pushing into it. So it's crimping the steel tube inward at the bottom. And look at the roof. The entire roof has ripped away from this top. Rip all the way down. So now the roof metal is compromised. And you'd have to re-screw it. I mean, look at the crimps are pulled apart here. This is all pulled out. These frames are bent. It's going to be hard to show this part, but even this wheel well is out. Like the whole thing is bent this way. Like straight would probably be right here. And it's all leaning out this way. That's a lot of steel to unbend. It's probably tied into the frame underneath. You'd have to do some heavy duty manipulation to get this back. Look at the crimps. So while I would love to leave you guys with some kind of big grand achievement here, this is as far as we're going to go right now. You guys can look at it and see what I'm looking at, and maybe you'll have some good ideas. I'm going to give it time. I'm just going to think it over and try to decide what I want to do before I jump into this. I honestly don't think it's worth selling. There's complications in that, and I don't know. What are you going to get for it? Who's going to want it? Probably nobody. I can't sell anything around here. Like I said, I feel like without being able to weld and just cut out everything and start over and put all new siding panels on, probably get a whole new roof put on, and think about the cost involved in that.
I would not do that.
But maybe we can still do something with this. Maybe. It's going to involve cutting it off. The walls have to come off, but we still have a frame, a chassis, and a solid floor that isn't too bent. I don't think it's too bent. I don't know. There could be hope for this, but that's all we can do for now. So, thanks for watching and coming along. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave them below, and until next time, take care.
Bye.